The 2020 edition of the legendary 24 Hours of Le Mans comes with a spectacular supporting program. More than 50 Porsche 911 GT3 Cup cars start in the Porsche Carrera Cup Germany and the Porsche Carrera Cup France. As always, they all have equal opportunities, identical cars and tyres and limited setup options. It's all down to the 53 drivers at the Carrera Cup Le Mans. Of course, pre-season, with all the corona measures and postponements, was very demanding for me and the whole team. So we are very glad we can start under great conditions here at Le Mans. It's very special for all drivers, teams, and also for me. We have a lot in common. Porsche has always been an integral part of arguably the most prestigious race in the world. It's the ultimate test for the drivers and the cars, a race of superlatives.
Le Mans
is fascinating, a magical venue in endurance racing. You notice it in the paddock 1 week before the race. In my opinion, it's the Wimbledon of motorsport because the whole focus is on this one race, a very special race. Porsche is the only ever-present manufacturer in the 70-year history of the race. Porsche claimed the overall victory for the first time in 1970, when Hans Hermann and Richard Atwood took the wheel of the Porsche 917K.
By 1970, the car was totally sorted. It became a normal car. It's very well balanced, and there were no further issues with the car. It was a fantastic car.
Porsche have racked up 18 more overall victories since then. The tradition-steeped circuit flanking the Sarthe River has always been an ideal test for technological innovations and the engineers' pioneering work. Sophisticated aerodynamics for long straights and very fast turns, outstanding chassis and brakes, as well as superior engine power. Everything is needed in Le Mans. The Porsche 919 Hybrid, the perfect example. The pinnacle of engineering has yielded 3 consecutive victories. Porsche and Le Mans, a perfect match.
Porsche to compete here was always something unique. It's the best place to test the car and to test the endurance of a car. This is one of the hardest races in the world, and they came here first time just to prove that the car was strong and quick, and they are doing this since many years now with the biggest victories also on this track.
Porsche has also been very successful in GT racing at Le Mans, most recently winning the 2018 GT Pro season with the 911 RSR. The circuit and the manufacturer have always had close ties.
Le Mans is a part of the story of Porsche, and Porsche is a part of the story of Le Mans.
The Porsche Carrera Cup Germany drivers contest the opener in the context of the legendary endurance race. 23 drivers take the wheel in 3 categories. The race at Le Mans is the highlight of the season at the very beginning, albeit without spectators. Every driver dreams of driving at Le Mans.
Yeah, it's one of those tracks that you can tick off on your bucket list.
I'm really looking forward to it, and I'm excited again, even after so many years in motorsport. It's a superb feeling to drive at Le Mans, of course, especially as it's the season opener. I'm looking forward to it. I think everyone knows Le Mans and its stories. It's a legendary motorsport venue, and I'm really glad I'm part of it. Dutchman Larry Voorde and Dylan Pereira are favourites. Both are experienced Carrera Cup drivers and battled it out for the title in the International Porsche Mobil 1 Super Cup, with Larry Voorde coming up trumps in the final spurt of the season and winning the title. The duel will continue at Le Mans. The spirit has always been there. We'll never give up. We can do it. And that's what we showed in the Super Cup. Larry Voorde will be really fast again. He hasn't lost his touch over the last 2 weeks. I think it's going to be really tight. But young guns are chasing them, including Leon Köhler and Lauren Heinrich. The T3 HRT drivers are supported in the Carrera Cup Germany talent pool. I try to win every championship, of course, and it's my goal to be at the very top of the talent pool, to be one of the best. Qualifying goes well for the two youngsters. Leon Köhler and Lauren Heinrich seal P2 and P3 in the Carrera Cup Germany. In the overall Porsche Carrera Cup Le Mans grid, the two T3 HRT Motorsport drivers will be starting from P6 and P7. The most important thing in qualifying, using slipstream. The drivers used other cars on the long straights in the fight for the pole.
Slipstream is really important here, especially in qualifying, but you don't have to be too close, because if not, maybe during the lap you catch the guys too much and then you get stuck behind him.
Larry Voorde built on his momentum from the Super Cup. He beat his German rivals by 0.5 of a second. Only French Cup driver Florian Latour was faster. Max von Splunteren, my Super Cup teammate, really helped me in qualifying. My lap was good, but I made 2 or 3 slight mistakes. A bit further down the order, a true Hollywood star, Michael Fassbender. Last year, he founded the project Road to Le Mans along with Porsche. The goal, contest the legendary 24-hour race. The Heidelberg-born Irishman gained early experience in motorsport via his father. Fassbender took his first steps towards a racing career in the context of the Porsche driving experience.
It starts to be really, really good, considering the amount of experience you have, so it's promising.
The 43-year-old gets full support with 3 consecutive levels and races in the context of the Porsche Sports Cup according to his needs, but the road to Le Mans is rocky.
God damn it!
You know, it's really the beginning of the journey. Last year with the Porsche Sports Cup was the introduction. Obviously this year now ELMS, so it's a big step up. So yeah, it's really kind of, you know, early days.
Now, he takes the wheel of the mecca of motorsport for the first time. He is looking forward to his first few kilometers this season, just like everyone else.
But for me, it's key really just to get some time on the track, to gain some knowledge and experience. Goals in the weekend would, you know, stay out of trouble and hopefully, you know, be faster.
The race will be 45 minutes long. The conditions are anything but easy. Rain. Hollywood star Fassbender's on-board perspective reveals how hard it is to control the Cup 911, even in the formation lap.
But yeah, it was very slippy coming out of that corner. So not ideal, but better to happen in the formation than in the race. It happened very quickly. Felt a little stupid, and then turned the car around, caught up to the pack. But in a way, actually, I'm glad it did happen in the formation lap, because in the first, you know, flying lap of the race, literally two cars in front of me, the yellow car did exactly the same thing, spun.
Unlike the usual procedure, the start is a rolling one. Until the red lights go off, there are no green lights at Le Mans. The cars of each starting row move alongside each other. The leading car indicates this with 2 raised fingers. And so it becomes, as the leading car peels off, the responsibility of those at the front of the pack to control the rolling start pace over the last few meters of tarmac. And the race is on. Guest driver Luke Hartog coping best with the conditions. The Dutchman making the most of the rolling start with his 485 HP Porsche 911 GT3 Cup, and promptly overtook pole sitter Latour and Voorde. On board with Joey Mawson from Australia. Joey starting from P23 overall. Leon Köhler and Jackson Evans fighting for P5 on board with Leon Köhler. And what a fantastic sight this is as the Carrera Cup cars head up towards the chicane, with lights ablaze in conditions that are far from perfect. And not every driver is going to be able to make the chicane, including Stefan Raykov, who we go on board with now, who has to shortcut that chicane. So a great onboard shot, and of course he has to return on to the racing track through the chicane barriers, which of course are put there quite deliberately to make sure no driver gains a speed advantage from straight lining the chicane. So thus far, the first lap order: Luke Hartog, Larry Tenvoorde, Florian Latour, Ian Chan Guven, Leon Köhler, Jackson Evans, and this is Jean-Baptiste Simonauer spinning after contact with Marvin Clark. Let's go on board with Joey Mawson now, out of Indianapolis, heading towards Arnage on this Le Mans Circuit de la Sarthe. Turn into the right-hander on board with Joey Mawson as the car ahead of him spins. Good avoidance from Joey Mawson. As we know, Stefan Raykov cut the chicane, as did others. Let's hear from him now. I took a shortcut once. I had to. I saw two cars touch and have problems to my right, so I chose the safest option, of course, and then made sure I rejoined in the right position. The safety car has to be deployed because of the number 115 Dan Schocktepol car stuck in the gravel bed. So, on the restart, you can see just how challenging the conditions are, and perhaps for an even better example of just how difficult the conditions are in terms of visibility, this, the onboard splitter cam of the number 116 car of Daan van Kuurk. Searching out what grip is available on this saturated tarmac here at Le Mans underneath the bridge. Great shot, that splitter cam. Now, in super slow-mo, we can see here how Dan Schocktepol was too late on the brakes for the first chicane in lap 2. And to the restart once again, and the order is Luke Hartog, Larry Tenvoorde, Ian Chan Guven. Then it's Leon Köhler, Florian Latour, and Jackson Evans. It's always close and tight in the Carrera Cup, and here at Le Mans, ever more so. On board now with the Dusseldorf driver, Holger Harmsen. He drives the number 169 car, and he's right behind Michael Fassbender at the moment. We go on board the Larry Tenvoorde car, fighting and running off the track. Now, Larry Tenvoorde has to yield the position. He can't be seen to overtake through being off the track and taking advantage, of course. That would provoke something of a penalty. This is a fantastic battle going on with Max van Splunteren and Lauren Heinrich, and this is the fight going on for P9 at the moment. Inside, outside, side by side. Lauren Heinrich then with the inside now, but Max van Splunteren carrying more speed and is able to see off the charge and challenge for the moment from Lauren Heinrich. With so many cars on the track, the moment you make an overtake move, you leave yourself vulnerable potentially for the car that is right behind you. And now this is for P3, as Leon Köhler goes to the outside of Ian Chan Guven. And also having a go for the lead of the race is Larry Tenvoorde on Luke Hartog. On board with Larry Tenvoorde, who is doing everything he can to try and put himself past the Hartog car, but thus far has been denied. We're on board now with the Finnish driver, Jukka Honkavuori. And there you can see the pressure he's under, and the pressure mounts, and he spins the car at the chicane. Jukka Honkavuori has gone around, and the car, I think, is beached in the gravel. Let's see it from a different shot here. Don't think there was any contact, but now with the rear wheels in the gravel, Jukka Honkavuori will be going no further, I would suggest. Now, meantime, Leon Köhler has lost some positions and is now overtaking the pole setter Latour, but this is for P5. So through on the inside, nice, clean, tidy overtake there. And on board with Michael Fassbender, P45 out of 53 cars. Top speed under these conditions, 280 kilometers per hour. You may have seen on the virtual dashboard on screen, which gives you throttle, brake, gear that we're in, and also that top speed, which actually, I think, to be fair to Michael, was up to 283 kilometers per hour. Now, Luke Hartog and Larry ten Voorde are both fighting for P1 here. Hartog on the left-hand side of your screen, ten Voorde on the right-hand side of your screen, as they both brake suddenly. Now, as a chain reaction, this causes something of carnage behind as other drivers react, brake. Some do, some don't, some get on the grass. Look at the speed being carried here into the barriers. Dago Bertinelli on the right-hand side touching the wall as a result of Hartog and ten Voorde braking. Let's hear from Dago now.
They say there was double yellow flag, but honestly, in the slipstream of the others, also with the wet, I can't see anything. I see also them going straight, but there was the very last moment I decided to go on the left, and it was really close call.
Close call is not the word. On board then, clattering into the arm coat to try and avoid jacking another car in front, and there the reaction in the pit lane. Let's go on board with the Larry ten Voorde car now, trying to make a move on the 104 car right alongside of Luke Hartog, and there is the flashing and waved yellows. So both ten Voorde and Hartog slowing, which caused that chain reaction which went on behind. And there you can see the light gets extinguished and Larry gets back on the gas. There was a situation with a yellow flag or the safety car, but the safety car was only indicated at one post. Everyone braked there, but 2 posts later it was green again. That's why it happened. So once again, the replay on board with Larry ten Voorde of this, the same situation. So you can see now at this post, it's all green, and therefore Larry goes for it. And this is Christoph Huber, the team principal of Huber Racing, and Hartog now fighting with Köhler for P3. Hartog then in a real battle and will drop back to the P6 position, unfortunately. So Hartog then, it had started really very well for him, and then getting off the track and running on the very slippery painted section of the circuit. And that's what does for him in terms of dropping down to that P6 place. And for a race that promised so much and sadly delivered less than was hoped for. Let's go on board now with Carlos Rivas. And Carlos Rivas here cuts the chicane. He's in P26 overall. At the end, he will win the Pro-Am class in the German Carrera Cup. Hartog fighting now with Jackson Evans for P5. But as you can see, a touch on the New Zealander here, as grip once again is really difficult to come by on this wet Le Mans track, and the reactions in the pit lane. On board with Dylan Pereira, overtaken by Jean-Baptiste Simonauer. And this is Jackson Evans stuck in the gravel bed. This means that the safety car is going to have to be deployed. Now, for the incident with Evans, Hartog was handed a drive-through penalty, which would be converted into a 30-second time penalty. Julian Andlauer on the right-hand side there was watching the race. Last year, the Frenchman won the title in the Porsche Carrera Cup Deutschland. Now, of course, he's racing in the WEC. So at the restart, ten Voorde, Köhler, Guven, then it's Klar, Hartog, plus 30 seconds, of course, Adam Atiki, Lauren Heinrich, Pereira and Simonauer, who runs somewhat wide here in the chicane. Gets it back out onto the tarmac, pointing in the right direction. Nothing lost, thankfully, through that wide running. And let's go on board now with the number 118 car of Lucas Grunewald. So looking back from the car of Grunewald, as traction at the back end of the car is lost and Lucas Grunewald spins. This is Pereira and Atiki then fighting for P7. So the number 5 car of Atiki and Dylan Pereira on the inside line there. In the meantime, ten Voorde and Leon Köhler are now fighting for this P1 position. Ten Voorde sticking his elbows out here to try and make it as hard as possible for Köhler to come by. Of Of course, Voorde has got the inside line running into this turn, and sure enough, shows the back end to Köhler. And on board now with Dylan Pereira, who runs into the gravel. Bad news for Dylan Pereira, who is joined by Richard Wagner. And both of them managing to get back onto the tarmac again, but losing a number of places. So the final lap, and Köhler is still in the slipstream of Larry Voorde, and it's now or never for Leon Köhler. And every which way he puts the car, Larry Voorde is wise to it, and onto the paint there, just off the curbs, and that means he loses a desperately needed momentum. So in these challenging conditions, all the drivers have done a remarkable job, truthfully. But for the moment, Larry Voorde has got it all his own way. Hugely experienced, of course, Voorde. Christoph Huber then on the pit lane. As you can see, Larry Voorde. And for the last time through the Ford chicane, after 9 laps, Larry Voorde heads towards the checkered flag. With Leon Köhler in hot pursuit, but that's all it is. It's in pursuit because Larry Voorde wins. 1.028 ahead of Köhler, 2.635 ahead of Guven, 25 points for the race winner, 20 points to Köhler, 16 to Lauren Heinrich, who finishes 4th overall and 3rd in the German Carrera Cup. Christoph Huber says, incredible, we worked on the car and exchanged the engine until 4 in the morning and we were rewarded. Larry and the team are brilliant, incredible. Larry Voorde, nebulous racing by Huber, has fulfilled a dream in the Porsche Carrera Cup Le Mans. The Dutchman won the joint race at the Porsche Carrera Cup Deutschland and the Porsche Carrera Cup France, and he is utterly delighted. He is a super young man who gets congratulated, and he will be thrilled. Let's hear from him.
It
was a superb duel with Leon, especially towards the end. It was very professional. It was fun. I'm very happy for the team. We saw Christoph was very happy. A good opener. It's a great feeling to drive here at Le Mans, supporting the WEC and even making it to the podium. The race was really good. I had good traction when accelerating after corners. I could always catch up then. We made good use of the slipstream, apart from one slight mistake. Second in the Carrera Cup Germany and 2nd overall. That's a superb result. In the last lap, Köhler was in striking distance. Victory would have been possible, but it would have involved a very high risk, so I was rather cautious. And we're still very satisfied with 2nd place, and at some point I'll surely win a race. On board with Michael Fassbender, and we'll stay with this on-board shot all the way to the finish line. The German-Irish actor and film producer with the number 919 Porsche 911 GT3 Cup finished in position 38 out of 53 drivers. Here, right behind the German driver Matthias Jeserich. And let's hear from Michael Fassbender then, his impressions of Le Mans.
But yeah, really excited to be here, you know, first time here, first time on the track. And, you know, the aim is to come here and to do the 24-hour, and we're going to come back and do that with Porsche. And, you know, this was a great first experience here.
And to the overall podium. Now, the best driver from the Porsche Carrera Cup France, the Porsche Junior, Anchan Guven, who takes P3, but on the top step of the podium, Larry Voorde. To the podium in the Porsche Carrera Cup Deutschland hospitality area, Lauren Heinrich, P3. A podium finish in my 2nd Carrera Cup race. I'm very happy with that. I hadn't expected that, especially under the difficult conditions. And I'm still a rookie, but I got off to a good start. I think I did a pretty good job. And Christoph Huber acts as the stand-in for Larry Voorde on the podium. Larry, of course, preparing for the 24-hour race. For Dylan Pereira, it was a weekend to forget. Only P15 overall and P7 in the Porsche Carrera Cup Germany. It started in free practice. It was my mistake when I skidded into the wall. I couldn't take part then in the second free practice. So I only had one session, and in the rain, we had no traction. We must analyze what went wrong. Maybe it was my fault. Maybe there's a problem with the car. We must analyze what went wrong, and we must be stronger in the next race. The season continues for the Porsche Carrera Cup Deutschland as support to the ADAC GT Masters. From the 2nd to the 4th of October, races 2, 3 and 4 of the German One Make Cup Series will be contested at the Sachsenring.